welcome back to my YouTube. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button down below. If you're not, hey girl, welcome back to my channel. This is a story time about my labor. If you want to know how I got this look in my hair, please watch my previous video. I'm gonna link it down below. On day 4 hair, just a high ponytail, high bun. Just use some glue and put it in a high ponytail, girl, and that's what I'm working with. So if you want to know how I got this look, just click the link down below and go watch that video. This is story time on my whole labor experience. I know you've seen Brooklyn. She's so adorable. She's really sick right now. She's not feeling well, and I kind of took her to the pool earlier, which I shouldn't have, but it was a nice day and I know my baby loves the water, so to cheer her up I took her to the pool and we went swimming for like 10 minutes because it was way too hot. Florida is way too hot to be going out swimming somewhere. We went back in the house and ever since then she's been like kind of asleep, so I'm surprised I got a good clip for her for you guys in the beginning. Okay, so my labor story was kind of crazy, I want to say. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So I remember my boyfriend, Brooklyn's dad, just pissed me off. So I'm upstairs. At the time I was living with him and his mom, and we stayed upstairs, and so I'm laying there on the bed and he pissed me off. So I'm upstairs, he's downstairs, and I was like, oh my god, like I just started feeling something. It was like, you know, Braxton Hicks, but it was kind of like a stronger Braxton Hicks, so I knew something was up. So I texted him and I was like, something's wrong. Like I didn't say something's wrong, but I was just like, something doesn't feel right. And he didn't text me back. He thought I was just trying to get his attention. I was not trying to get his attention, y'all. I was really feeling something. But at the time I didn't know it was labor. And so this boy's sitting here ignoring me because we both just mad at each other for whatever reason. And and then I'm screaming his name. I'm like, come upstairs. And then he finally run upstairs because, you know, I'm 9 months pregnant and it's like 2 days before my due date. Wait, was it 2 days? No, it was a day before my due date. And he kind of ran upstairs once he heard me and he heard that I was serious. And I was like, I think I'm in labor. And you should have seen this boy face. Like, he say bye-bye. He did not know what to do. Look, like, bye -bye. He just was stuck there. He was like, Iyanna, I don't know what to do. And I was like, boy, pick me up and let's go to the hospital. So mind you, he carrying my fat ass down the stairs. I'm like 125 at the time. Not really fat because I'm so little, but still, that's a lot of weight. And he carried me down the stairs. We got in the car and I was like, okay, get my hospital bag, get this. I was telling him to get this and get that before we got to the hospital. So he grabbed everything. We got in the car and he's driving so fast. He was like, oh, fuck, I don't know if I should run this red light. And so this idiot ran it like we have never been in this situation before. We didn't know like whether to wait or what to do. He called his mom, but his mom really didn't know how far along dilated I was. So she was just like, take her to the hospital. So we're on the way to the hospital and we get to the hospital and the nurse, he was like, it was a guy nurse, he just checked and I was only 2 centimeters, and you get admitted at 3 centimeters and when your contractions are closer together. So they kept me for like 2 hours to see if I would go into active labor because I was in early labor. So he gave me a shot in my ass for the pain. And when I say that shit hurted so bad, it hurted so bad. So he gave me a shot and me and him, we were just laying there. And I ended up getting sent back home. So I'm home. When I got home, it was late at night, mind you. So he took the bed, he got me a little blow up bed, and he put it downstairs. And he was like, we not having no more of that shit, so I'm not carrying you down the stairs. So he put the bed downstairs and he slept next to me. and I slept on the bed. And I woke up in the morning and I used the bathroom. Mind you, I woke up and the pain was still there. So basically, I slept through contractions. So I woke up and went to the bathroom, and then my mucus plug came out. If you're pregnant, you know what that means. If you've been pregnant before, you know what that means. So I told him, I'm like, oh, my mucus plug came out. So he was like, oh, okay, it's about to be that time. And his mom was telling him it's about to be that time. I just was walking around. Like, they made me walk around. We went to his auntie house and they had me walking so much. Like, I was crying. I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, I cannot do this. Like, oh my God, when I say them contractions felt like a 50-pound dumbbell, like somebody just, no, as a matter of fact, it felt like a 500-pound person, just you laying down on the floor and that person just like jumping with everything they got on your stomach. That's how it felt. It felt so bad. So I'm holding on. Mind you, he's no help in all of this. He's laughing at me the whole time because I'm in so much pain. And he just started laughing. Oh, Iyanna, come on. Like, he was like, come on, it can't be that bad. And I'm just like, I was crying. I was being so dramatic because it hurted so bad. I was like, bro, I cannot take this no more. So we finally went back to the hospital, and the lady, they finally admitted me. They wheeled me into this room, and they came, it was a guy nurse. He came back with the epidural. I got my epidural. That had to be like 11 p.m. and so I went to sleep. Everybody in the room went to sleep. It was him and his mom. They went to sleep on the couch, and it was his godmom, so they all went to sleep. And I was so drunk. When I got my epidural, they made me sign like all of these papers that I could not read because my mind was just everywhere else. Like, he took a video of me and he thought it was hilarious. This boy was no help. He thought it was hilarious because I was all drugged up and I was signing these papers, and like when I was signing my signature, I was signing like scribbles. Like, I didn't read none of that shit. Nothing. I guess it was like a release form for the epidural, but before the epidural, they gave me something, what they gave me the previous night before. I forgot what it was, but yeah, that's what they gave me. And then they gave me the epidural, and so everybody ended up falling asleep. His godmom ended up leaving because I wasn't far enough along. So at 4:30, no, not 4:30, at like 3 o'clock, 3:50ish, the lady came in and she woke me up and she was like, oh, you have a fever and it's going up. We might have to do a C-section. So I was crying, but I wasn't crying because I'm so selfish, by the way. I wasn't crying because because I thought something was like wrong with my baby. I was crying because I didn't want that scar. So I just didn't want it on my body, so that's what I was crying for. I knew she was alright, but I just was crying because I didn't want to go through like that much pain. I wanted to have her naturally, so that's so selfish. So anyways, yeah, so I woke, then they were like, okay, wait, let's just check to see how far along dilated you are. So she checked, and she didn't say nothing at first. She told her, because she was training somebody, so she told her trainer to check me too. And I was fully dilated, and so she was like, never mind, you're fully dilated, thank God, you don't have to get a C-section, but it's time to push. So he was still asleep in the corner, so I'm like, wake up. I'm like, wake up. And his mom trying to wake him up, and he just asleep. Like, okay, so he get up and he just walk over to me with the fucking cover over his head because he didn't want to see none of it. And so the nurse was like, sir, you're gonna have to take the cover off of your head. So he took the cover off his head, and this boy was I don't even know what was his purpose for being in the room if he was gonna act this fucking stupid. So he took the cover off his head, and his mom was recording with my phone. I got the full video of my birth, and she recorded with her phone. So as I'm pushing, the nurses and the doctor was whispering to each other. But mind you, I didn't hear this because I was in so much pain. And they were telling him to like hold my leg, because at first he was just holding my hand, and they were like, okay, hold her leg up. And so he's holding my leg up. Mind you, he's facing towards the wall. He's not even looking down where the baby was. And so the doctor had tapped on him and was like, oh, do you want to see? And he shook his head so fast. He was like, because you started to see her head. And so it was like complications in when she came out. So she came out and she wasn't breathing. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear nothing at all. Nobody, he didn't get to cut the cord like he wanted to. And they had to cut it, and they had this thing. The nurses on the other side of me was preparing her for her to come out, because they knew something. She had meconium basically, and meconium is when the baby poops in their sac, and in order to not have her get that in her lungs and in her system, they had prevented her from breathing. So when she went to the table, the table on the side of me, she wasn't breathing for like, it had to be like 4 or 5 minutes. I'm just sitting there hysterical, and I'm like, okay, like I don't hear my baby crying, and I'm like asking him, I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? And he didn't know. Nobody told me anything. Like, nobody was saying anything to me. So I'm like, what's wrong? Like, he didn't know, his mom didn't know, and they were just whispering to each other. And I'm just, you better be okay. I was going through it on that table. And then I finally heard her. When they sucked everything out of her, all the poop out of her nose and out of her mouth, I finally heard her cry. And so that was like the best moment of my life. That was the best thing that could have happened to me. I finally heard her cry. And they gave her to me for 2 seconds. I didn't even get to do skin to skin. They already had her bundled up and ready to go out of the room, because she had complications, so she had to go to the NICU and they had to monitor her. So they laid her on me for like maybe 30 seconds, and then they took her away. And then I was kind of sad, because that was the moment where I should have been bonding with my baby. And so his first words were, oh my God, she looked just like Iyanna, because when she came out, she looked exactly like me. And his mom was like, hey, my girl. Like, his mom is so obsessed with Brooklyn. Like, sometimes I be having to remind her that that is my baby. But because she never had girls, she had all boys. So when I had a girl, she was like really, really excited about it. So she was like, hey, my girl. And so she had to go to work. She ended up going to work. What they ended up bringing her back maybe like 2 or 3 hours later. And we got to hold her for a while. And I could tell like her coming into this world really, really changed him, because you should have seen how he was looking at that little girl. He was looking at her. He was holding her because she was so tiny. I forgot to say that. She came out 5 pounds, 10 ounces. Yes, and that was full term. She came the day that the doctor said she would be due. So July 11th, she ended up coming in this world at 4:08 a.m. when the doctor said she would be due. And she was 5 pounds, 10 ounces. So he was holding her. And when he was holding her, I could tell like how he was looking at her, like he really, really loved her. And so this boy was laying on my hospital bed. Mind you, I'm in a chair, and he laid on the bed with the baby. Like, I barely got to really touch her because he was so obsessed with her. So, which is okay. It was okay to me. It wasn't a problem because he was by my side the whole time. And I really, really appreciate him for that, for sticking by my side during that moment. And he was holding her, and we were just bonding, and I was taking pictures. And so the nurse came back in the room and she was like, oh, her temperature is not steady. Well, her temperature keeps dropping, so we're gonna have to take her back and monitor her. So when they took her back, they took her and put her in like this little box. I guess her temperature wasn't stable because she was so little and she already had complications when she came out. And so I didn't really get to keep my baby in the hospital. Like, you know how they normally let you keep them and bond with them. Really didn't get to experience that because her temperature kept going down and down. So they had to monitor, put her in this box, and we would visit her. Only 2 people could visit her, so me and him would go, and then when his family members came, he would go because I would be too tired, so him and his family would go and see the baby. He was really obsessed with her. Like, he really, really loves her because she looks exactly, funny thing is, she looks exactly like him. Like, if you put a picture of them side by side, they look like twins. So yeah, he was there the whole time. My whole hospital stay, he was right by my side. He didn't leave the baby. He was like, oh, you want to go look at the baby, or you want to go visit the baby? And it was a different experience, the whole labor thing. I couldn't have done it natural without an epidural because that pain was on 100. Forget a 1 to 10 scale. That pain was on 100. So yeah, that basically was my labor story. It went smooth because I had somebody by my side the whole time. He never really left my side so I had a support system there. It was pretty easy. It wasn't pretty easy. Them contractions hurted, but after that I got the epidural. I really didn't feel anything. The pushing, you could feel the baby. You could feel the baby coming out, and it burns. Like, it really, really burns when the head comes out. But after the head, it was smooth sailing. They just pulled the rest of the baby out. And then I remember he told me after I had the baby, he was like, oh, I never looked down there until the doctor pulled the placenta out, and then I just saw all of that blood come out. And he was like, it hurt his stomach so bad. Like, he was like, he looked when the doctor was pulling the placenta out, and if y'all know, that is the worst time to look. Because it's so much blood. Like, I never knew it could be that much blood. It was so much blood. But yeah, Brooklyn, then we took Brooklyn home, and that was my labor story. I just had that complication, and thank God she's here and she's perfectly fine. My little baby, she is fine. She's here. She's still little though. I love her to death, and I would do it all over again. I wouldn't change anything in the world. I'll do it all over again if I had to. But thank you guys for watching my labor story. If you have any more questions, please leave them down or DM me, email me. Please subscribe if you love this video. I have other hair videos, and I'm also going to be doing story time videos and possibly soon, hopefully, vlogs on my channel. If you really like this video, like, thumbs up, comment if you feel like I missed anything. Thank you for watching. Please watch my hair video on how I got this hair look if you really like it. Thank you guys. Please subscribe. Say hi.